Welcome into Washington Wellness Field, where in a few moments we'll have a matchup between the Washington Demons and Fort Madison Bloodhounds. But we have a senior day ceremony before that. 3 seniors. Three seniors for Washington.
We have Brendan Taylor, son of Krista Vananga and Ben Taylor. Brendan's future plans are to attend Kirkwood and major in the digital arts.
Marcelino and Taylor both going to Kirkwood University next year.
That's okay. Our last senior, Caden Reed, son of Jessica and John Reed. Caden has been accepted into Iowa State's University Aerospace Engineering program and plans to earn his bachelor degree. Congratulations, seniors and parents.
Third senior, Caden Reed, goalkeeper for the Demons, headed to Iowa State next year. Majoring in aerospace engineering, which no mean feat. Nice moment for 3 loyal members of the Demon program. Reed going for the all-time record in saves potentially for this Demons program. It's at 147 through 12 games. Brendan Taylor last year, a member of the All-SEC team. Marcelino, a positive contributor his entire career as well. So 3 Demon seniors. Kick to a quick break and be back with the pregame show here in a few moments on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. Welcome back to Washington Wellness Field for a matchup between the Washington Demons and the Fort Madison Bloodhounds here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network, presented by Washington County Hospital and Clinics, top 20 critical access hospital in the nation. This is the Fairway Meat and Grocery pregame show. My name is Jack Knowlton, alongside my great producer, Peter Camp. So we're just about to get underway here between the Demons and the Fort Madison Bloodhounds. Washington coming in at 2-11, 1-6 in SEC play, looking to knock off a talented offensive Fort Madison team. As we take a look at them, these two teams met back on April 21st. It was Fort Madison getting a 5-0 convincing win in that game. But notably, one absence from that. Connor Horn, of course, 3 goals. He's one of the best goal scorers in SEC play. But the man we're going to point to in the pregame show here from Fort Madison, a notable absence from the game, Henry Graham, their talented senior striker, did not play but has been absolutely lethal in the games he has played every single game since then. 9 goals in 9 games this season. He has at least 9 every single season he's played, the talented senior, so a notable player to mark for the Washington Demons and the Demon defense led by Coach Sally Hart. This team looking for a bounce-back win, losses to Fairfield and Mount Pleasant in their last 2 games. It's pre-game show honoring 3 Washington seniors, Kevin Marcelino, Brendan Taylor, and Caden Reed in net. Reed, I was told by Coach Hart, going for the all-time record in saves. He was at 147, which naturally leads the SEC this season. Joined this Demons team as a senior, but has been an absolute stud in between the post. And Washington haven't had too many positive results. As I mentioned, 2 wins on the season, but Reed has been absolutely awesome and will face a talented Fort Madison team going forward. They have scored 33 goals this season. That is second in the SEC. 25 assists as well, which is also second in the league. Notably, though, they've also allowed the second most goals at 30. This Fort Madison team, 5-6, very talented offensively, a little bit shaky in the back at times. That could be something potentially Washington could exploit today. So we pause for a moment here for the national anthem.
Remove your hats as we pay honor to this great nation with the singing of our national anthem by Will Hart.
Bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, let's give another hand for Will. That was an outstanding.
Great rendition of the national anthem there as we were just set to get underway. Continuing to take a look at these teams. Should be an exciting one. So like I said, could be very much an offensive affair. These 2 teams allow the most goals in the Southeast Conference, and Fort Madison boasted by several players who can score. I mentioned Horn. He is the leader in the SEC in scoring. Matter of fact, the top 5 goal scorers in this conference all play for either Fort Madison or Mount Pleasant. The 2 members of the Bloodhounds on that list are Horn and Henry Graham, who we, of course, spotlighted, the big striker up front in that starting group for Fort Madison. So Caden Reed, a potential to be busy. Had to make 13 saves in that 5-0 win for Fort Madison back in late April. So can Washington perhaps turn a result here in 5th place in this Southeast Conference? One more game left on the home schedule after this one. I mentioned it was senior day. Can Reed potentially have a big game in his last game? Like I said, was catching up with Coach Hart before, and she kind of talked about Reed's loyalty. He wasn't a member of this program until his senior season, but has come in and just been stellar for them. She said they're very grateful, or have been very grateful, to have him in between the posts. But Washington, of course, have some scoring potential themselves. Edwin Cortez ranks in the top 10 in total points this season, has 7 goals to his name. Obviously, Washington as a whole have not scored in the last 2 matches, but will be looking to get on the board. And Cortez wearing that captain's armband up front for the Demons, trying to be the man to do that as we get underway in just a few moments here. So underway here from Washington Wellness Field, Fort Madison, getting things started. The ball in the midfield, trying to possess it. Played out of bounds. Coach Kevin Wellman leads Fort Madison. I mentioned the goal-scoring prowess for this team. Capable penalty team from the penalty spot as well. 4 of 6 on the year. That's the most taken and the most scored in the SEC. Washington, a perfect 1-for-1 themselves. Washington trying to get on the attack early. Lumped into the box, headed away. Controlled here by Brendan Taylor, one of the seniors of this Demons team. He gets it to Cortez, trying to slip a man back through, but it's picked up in the end by Keelan Ross, who is far from his own senior day, a freshman for this Bloodhound team, making his 7th start of the year. They've had a couple of different goalkeepers. Ross took over from Carson Dixon, who plays in defense, not in the starting lineup today. So here's a ball through. Chance for the Bloodhounds here. It's in behind. Shot slid toward the back post and cleared off the line brilliantly. Stellar play back there for Washington. It was an initial save for Reed, and the follow could not be pounced on, and that was Connor Horn already getting forward for the Bloodhounds. Danger still has to be cleared in the opening minutes here for Washington. Bloodhounds play it wide. That was Alecos Flores, just a freshman back there defending for Washington. Washington just trying to get this one clear, and Horn whistled for offside. So Washington will take the free kick. I mentioned Flores is defending there. He is making his 6th start of the season. He's appeared in the last 5 matches for Washington. Didn't play much to start the year. Only really started getting involved in the fold in these last few matches, but is occupying that back line. One of those 3 defenders for Washington. They play a 3-5-2, can sometimes drop their 2 midfielders, center midfielders back and create almost a 5-man back line. Flores, the freshman, a promising play, but now it's Fort Madison back in again. That was Henry Graham just taken off of it there. Ball played forward. Cortez. Kronlagi trying to spring his man in here. It's Kevin Marcelino, the senior. Cuts it back. Nice move there. Tries to luff the keeper, and it curls over the crossbar. Was a cheeky effort there by Marcelino, who put his defender on his backside that time. Nice tackle there by Ben Kronlagi in there. That center midfield spot. One of those 2, along with Nick Raimundo, who can drop back in defense. 2 very tall midfielders for Washington as that ball went out of play. It'll be a throw in for Fort Madison. Bloodhounds trying to play out of trouble. Nice defensive shape here for Washington early. You can see them just trying to make the field really narrow, trusting their kind of 3 defenders back there as Flores can get on this, just electing to play it wide, and he's being chased down there by Graham. It's one out again by Fort Madison. Chance for a shot on here, and it's a brilliant one, and an early goal. It's Henry Graham. And the man who didn't appear against Washington on the road strikes first for Fort Madison here. His 10th goal of the year and his 10th start. And a mistake in the back for Washington is immediately pounced on by the team ranked 2nd in this league in scoring. And Graham ranked 4th individually. His 10th goal of the year. It's 1-0 Bloodhounds. Washington need a response. Played with some good defensive shape, and Flores, you might have liked to see him go back to his keeper there, drop it off to Reed and just let him boot it clear, but tried to play it out and was just tackled off of it. First by Horn and then Graham. Ended up with it and just curled that one toward the left post and in. Really, really impressive strike there. For Madison trying to get on the attack again quickly. Here is Graham. Cutting, playing it forward, and the flag is raised. Horn in an offside position. See Horn trying to time up his run there. Get in behind that 3-man back line for Washington. Really difficult thing to do and stay on sides. As he's Cortez with a chance to equalize. He lofts it over the keeper, but still in play here. Lofted back in the box, and actually the official there deeming it went over the goal line there. It'll be a goal kick for Fort Madison. Another cheeky effort there for Cortez. Or Madison trying to play it out of the back here. Cortez trying to bring some pressure, and he wins a throw for his side. Can Washington find an answer? They've penetrated this Bloodhounds back line a little bit, which I mentioned has leaked in 30 goals this season. You can see them a bit shaky in possession in the opening few minutes, but with an attack as strong as they've got, it sometimes doesn't matter when they can just outscore opponents. Marcelino tried to hook that one out wide toward Ivan Rangel, but cleared away, and Washington trying to bring numbers forward here. Nice clearance there by Fletcher Brower. That's one back again by the Bloodhounds. Flores was crunching challenge, able to get to that one, and ball deflects to Caden Reed. Bloodhounds trying to possess here. Out wide, here's Jake Hassing. Owns one out, challenged well. It's Rangel dueling for it. Ball played out wide. Caden Hansen plays it forward. Here's Horn. Can he look for a cross? Hansen. Back and deflected out of play and unable to be kept out. It will be a corner for the Bloodhounds. Corner taken quickly. Here's Graham. Graham cuts back inside. Good tackle there by Washington. Looks like that was Joseph Schreiber back there defending. Graham trying to get back on it quickly, though. Can't save that one from going out of play. recovered immediately. That one's cut off, though, and it'll bounce for Cortez. Raimundo tries to play it forward. Hassing, that one's cut off. Some good pressure there by Flores. Sub coming in, Jacob Schottenkirk. The senior has started 11 games for this Fort Madison team, but is coming off the bench today. Takes up a spot in midfield's got it here. Schottenkirk. Ball lumped forward by Brower, and Marcelino was offsides. Ball played forward immediately inside, and a dangerous situation again for Washington. It's Graham. Nice save by Reed, and just clipped out of play by Brower. Reed right on that to prevent Graham from getting a quick second of the game. So we played just over 10.5 minutes so far, but Graham back on it. Deflection, I think, carried over byline, or excuse me, Graham was offsides when he got it back there. Brower's free kick, cut off. One out by Rangel. Raimundo handled it, though, and it'll be a free kick in a dangerous spot here for Fort Madison. Looking to take it quickly. Couple in the box. Going to be Schottenkirk here on it. Now Graham will trot over. Crossing position here potentially for Fort Madison. Graham lofts it low, and Reed can just catch that one comfortably. I believe will go down as another save for Caden Reed. He's trying to chase down the record. 199 saves is the career high, and Reed has that in a season, almost a season. Has this game and one more for Washington to potentially get it. Sub for the Demons. Kronlagi making way. Neri Salazar will come back in. It's appeared in every game this season. 1 assist on the year. Ball switched forward. Hassing able to get on it. Plays it forward. Hunter Wiegand in there for Fort Madison. 3 goals in the year for him. Wiegand stays with it well there. Flores just trying to prevent a corner here, but taken off of it by Wiegand. He lofts one toward the back post. Chance to settle it here. Hansen dribbles past through, but ball takes a deflection back to Reed. So Washington just surviving a bit of an onslaught here from Fort Madison. As Cortez, that one's won really well there. Noah Swigart there in defense. Here's Wiegand space, early ball in. It's a good one too, and a chance for Fort Madison. Schreiber trying to run it off. It's still in. Here's the shot, and it's in. And it's Graham again. And Fort Madison again makes it a 2-0 advantage. And Henry Graham making his presence felt today. It was another attack. Washington seemed to get it out of trouble, but it was won out really quickly by Swigert in defense, who just played it forward. And Wiegand, a really good cross, his 3rd assist on the year, as he got it to Graham. And, well, Graham's trying to catch his teammate Horn here, who's on 13 goals, and Graham up to 11 on the year now with 2 today. Ball played forward, and Wiegand is there again. It's been really dangerous down this right wing for Fort Madison. Reed trying to play it long toward Cortez, and some early offensive momentum for Washington has been wiped out so far, but obviously Reed dangerous with his feet as well as with the saves he can make. If he can potentially spring a counter. Cortez obviously a a really smart player, 7 goals on the year. Can play with speeds, a skilled forward as well, able to kind of bring the ball down, and he can turn 1 or 2 defenders and set some things up for his teammates. Raimundo jockeying with Wiegand. Ball stays in play. Horn's over there as well. Schottenkirk plays it into Horn. Can he get on this before it goes out of play? He cannot. So Reed will take the goal kick. Kronlagi back in. Flores will take a break. All taken long. Cut off, lofted forward. Brendan Taylor heads that one back to his keeper. Probably not the intention, but it works out nonetheless. Mundo, Schottenkirk gets on it here. Jacob Schottenkirk tries to slip his man through, and the flag goes up. So that one won't count. Would have been a third for Henry Graham and a first half hat trick, but the flag was up early. It was just a step too far. Before Madison, all the momentum in the opening few minutes here. Just under 24:30 remaining in this first half. Taylor trying to launch that ball into the wind. It is blowing toward the Washington goal in the first half. For Madison taking advantage of that wind momentum. Cortez cuts this one off, though, for Washington. Kronlagi's making a run here. He can get on this. Kronlagi elects to hold it up. Gets it back from Cortez. Tries to turn his man and play it through. Cortez on this, on the left wing. Tries to dangle his man, takes it around him. Still Cortez, but it's just a bit too far. And again, the attack ends up sputtering out for Washington that time. But a nice 1-2 there between Kronlagi and Cortez. Kronlagi mainly plays in the midfield for this Demons team. He's out there on the left in that 5-man midfield, trying to settle things down. That's where a lot of the attack has come for Fort Madison. And as if on cue, right on it here, early through ball cut off by Taylor. That'll go for a Washington throw. Kronlagi settled by Marcelino, who turns and tries to hit one, but difficult shot that was. But again, a decent opportunity for Washington. Just trying to find any momentum back in this game. Looking for a goal as well, scoreless in their last 2 matches. Certainly be satisfying for them to just get back on the score sheet. Graham trying to run on to the long ball here, and Will. Graham flicks it over Brower, but he recovers. Plays it out for a corner, though, and a second corner of the game for Fort Madison. Graham gets to the byline. That cross over hit, though. Throwing deep in Washington territory here. A couple more subs in for both teams. Kevin Sells Gomez in the midfield for Washington. Jonas Santiago and Jay Ellison, 2 players for Fort Madison, make their way out. One change in defense. Oliver Tackett in for Fort Madison as Graham settles this one down. Brower miscues that. Be recycled. Here is Tackett. Early ball. Kronlagi hits it. Danger still for Washington. They clear it the second time, though, and Marcelino trying to settle. Over there with Xavi Resendez, who gets it forward. Marcelino holding it up. Finds Raimundo, but he's taken off of it there well, and chance to go forward here for Fort Madison. Graham doesn't settle that one, though. Nice interception by Leon Ziegeltrum there. Wearing that 17 shirt in midfield. Headed that one. Ziegeltrum again. Out for Wiegand. Schadenkirk. Schadenkirk again. Plays it for Wiegand. Nice possessing here, but intercepted there by Ivan Rangel. Taggett mishits that one, so good defending in the end for Washington, but have to start getting some numbers forward on some of these attacks. Marcelino and Cortez have gotten forward well individually, but just have had nowhere to go with Fort Madison recovering and Washington trying to provide them more support from behind, but hasn't been there thus far, and that won't allow them to cut into this deficit as Brower blocks that one out. Schadenkirk. Forward for Graham. Graham turns. Graham skips past one. Ball falls for Horn, but he's offside. Washington settled in the last sort of 7 minutes since that second goal for Graham. But can they find an attack? Cortez tries to play it through. One back by Kronlagi and miss it there. Resendez challenging for it. It's one out well, though, in the end by Tackett. It's cut off. Schadenkirk. Can he spring in an attack here? He can. It's Graham running onto it. Graham one-on-one with Reed. Graham on a hat trick, and he gets it. Henry Graham, his third of the game. And with just over 18 to play, it's a 3-0 advantage for the visiting Bloodhounds. And Henry Graham is now just one away from his teammate Horn on the season. And he has just been a problem all half long for Washington. It was just a quick counter. Nice ball forward there by Jacob Schadenkirk, who came into the game. And that's what Schadenkirk does. That is his 16th assists on the year. Best in the SEC at finding his open teammates. Obviously helps when you have a striker like Graham up front, but Schadenkirk, a very skilled midfielder. And once again, it's the Bloodhounds unlocking the Washington defense. Nice moves there by Resendez. This is a good attack for Washington. Can they spring an attack? Here's Cortez. Can't find a teammate, though. Again, it's some decent forays forward for Washington, but some of those final passes, credit so far to that Fort Madison defense. They've gotten their shape decently well. Ball played down the right wing. Taylor tries to take it around a couple defenders, or does indeed win throwback for his side. Like I mentioned, Washington just needing to possess it a little bit more in their final third. Get a few better looks on goal. Marcelino had a good one in the opening few minutes, had a second later in this first half. Cortez had a good chance as well, but that's really been it. They have not forced Keelan Ross into a save yet today. It just seems like some better possession is going to be required in the final third to sort of unlock this Bloodhounds defense, but it's not an impossible task for Washington. But it certainly will be challenging to get 3 back here. And for Madison, with the strength they have in attack, are not going to sit back with that. Here's Schadenkirk trying to turn his defender. Does really well. It's Schadenkirk, and he rolls it home. And just like that, it's a 4th for the Bloodhounds. So Jacob Schadenkirk, a goal and an assist. Already for him today. That's his 3rd goal of the year. Has that assist as well for Graham's 3rd, and it's 4-0 Bloodhounds. You can hear the bench from the Fort Madison side. They don't want their side to let up. Obviously, plenty to play for themselves. Fort Madison's taken some losses in conference play, only 5-6. They're trying to get back to 500 on the year. Look well on their way to doing it here on Washington Senior Day. With 15 minutes left to play here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. All settled well. Really nice turn there from Tate Green. Graham gets back on it. Henry Graham has just had no fear running right at a couple of defenders. A lot of these Fort Madison attackers are really skilled. Green a substitute, making his 9th appearance of the season. Over there on that left wing. A lot smaller in stature, at least compared to the very tall Graham, but has a nice touch out there on the left wing, and shown his skill a bit. That one back. Played forward, and here's Horn. Connor Horn tries to roll it in and will win a corner for his side. Deflection off of a Washington defender. A chance to maybe get an early 5th here for Fort Madison. Horn lofts it, no one there for it. Seemed to be a bit under hit that time. No one really ran onto it there for Fort Madison. Rangel just trying to get it clear. Graham back on it. Plays it in. Schadenkirk turns. Schadenkirk to the top of the box. Rolls it across. Tackett. Early ball. Goes off Raimundo. It'll roll near the corner flag and played out. And it'll be another corner from the other side here for Fort Madison. Rolled into the box, cleared away by Brower. But a chance to recycle here. Early ball into Schadenkirk. Settles, turns, Schadenkirk tries to roll it for Graham. Headed clear, a long shot comes in. It's deflected off Reed. Danger not all the way dealt with, but Reed gets to it a second time. Takes it off the feet of Graham there. If you're keeping track from on the season, Henry Graham has 3 goals in the first half, bring him to 12 on the year. 1 away from his teammate Horn. And should be good enough for number 1 and number 2 in the SEC. So it shows you just how dangerous this Fort Madison attack really is. A couple more subs. This Horn is going to come off here for Fort Madison. Marcelino back on the pitch and has it here for Washington. Quickly back on it here is Schadenkirk, who's just seems like has taken a more and more advanced position, just kind of crept his way up the pitch since he's gotten that assist. And another chance here, rolled in, cleared away by Brower. Shattenkirk again. Graham holding it up. Graham turns and hits one. And a difficult shot spins over the goal, and a cool kick for Caden Reed. Those are really difficult shots to hit when you have to turn and hit one in one motion like that. We saw Marcelino take a chance with a shot similar earlier in this first half. Just requires to sort of swing your momentum in one motion. Elite strikers can do it as Graham tries to flick it over Schreiber, but fouled him. Cortez tries to play the 1-2 with Marcelino, and you can see just how high up the Fort Madison defensive line is pushed up there. Even when Washington tries to build at all, they get toward half. One of those defenders back there, they've got four at the back, Fort Madison does, and one of them is just lined up, already ready to pounce at the feet of one of the wingers for Washington. And Reed's free kick knotted down. Shattenkirk has looked really comfortable in possession, and a beautiful ball there, but just too far for Graham. Reed nearly mishandled it, but dove right back on top of it. Here's Marcelino. Cuts it back. Cortez and Raimundo, a miscommunication though, and Shattenkirk could get on it here. Looked for Graham, couldn't find him. Brought down, all ping-ponging around, and Shattenkirk able to just drop back for it and get it as Graham is sprung in again here. It's Graham, he pokes it past Reed, but it's wide of the post. So another sub here, Jay Ellison coming in for defense, replacing the captain Lane Rung, a junior for Fort Madison. Ellison actually has a goal from a defensive position this year. Just a freshman, but has started plenty of games alongside Rung in defense. Came off the bench today. For Madison, just bringing it over again. Throw in one. Caden Hansen over there. He's been busy, just returned for Fort Madison, his last game before this against Burlington back on May 5th. Didn't play the previous 5 games, including the first matchup with Washington. So along with Graham, Hansen out wide over there wearing that number 4 shirt. Approaching 8 minutes left in this first half, 4-0 in favor of the visiting Bloodhounds, and Washington lost their shape a little bit defensively. They were putting some good pressure on the Fort Madison defense, which I think was a sound strategy for Coach Sally Hart's squad. Fort Madison can look uncomfortable at times and has today in defense, and at least trying to possess it out of the back, but they haven't had to do much of that since, as Marcelino trying to make a hero's run there, beat a couple of defenders, but it's cut off, and Shattenkirk can work with Graham here. Lofts it forward for him. Reed's going to come collect this, though. As I mentioned, it just hasn't been quite there for Washington to unlock this Fort Madison defense, and Fort Madison on the other side of that, but here it drops for Kronlage. Really good ball forward. Marcelino can run onto this. Kevin Marcelino, can he get one back? And he hit it early and might have mishit it a little bit, scuffed that one, and comfortable in the end for Ross in goal. Made 47 saves this season, Ross. I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they've switched keepers for Madison. Carson Dixon started out the year, kind of split time with Ross. But it's been Ross for the back half of the season who's been in net. No trouble for him that time. Cortez. That one's just poked forward. Schreiber able to collect. Ball goes out of play. It'll be throw a couple more subs for Madison. Very deep team. A lot of players over there available on that bench. Tate Green back in, going to take up a center midfield spot. Schottenkirk returning as well. Looks like Schottenkirk's going to go up front with Horn and replace Henry Graham. So Graham a break likely for the final 6 minutes of this first half. Hat trick for him. Can Washington maybe take advantage with him out of the game? Not if Schottenkirk has anything to say about it, and tried to play in Horn. It's poked out. It'll be a corner, though. Some last-ditch defending that time by Taylor. Danger not cleared just yet, though. Corner played low. Back for the corner taker, Horn. Still with it here. He's trying to just get it into the box any way he can. Gets it again. A third bite at the apple here for Horn. Drives it low. Still bouncing around near the 6-yard box. Still not clear yet. The volley comes in. That one's blocked. Here's Green. Trying to recycle it. Horn back with it with a little bit of space. Trying to take it around Rangel, and Rangel challenging well there, but another corner will do it again from the right-hand side here. Horn plays it short, lofted toward the back post. The header comes in, but it is just a bit too high there for Swigart up from defense. Just couldn't get a clean header to that. And here's Xavi Resendez trying to spring an attack for Washington. Schottenkirk. Really good ball forward here, and a chance to get in behind the defense. It's Hunter Wiegand. Still Wiegand. Schottenkirk. All back down here, played forward. Wiegand with a bit of space, hits it early. Saved by Reed. It's flicked over the crossbar. It'll be another corner, but another good save there for Reed just to get his fingertips on that one. Looked like it might have hit the crossbar and gone in potentially if he hadn't got to it. 3:30 to play here in this first half. Fort Madison trying to add to a 4-0 first half advantage. Corner played low. Can be collected again by Horn. Drives it low again into the box. Schottenkirk flicked it, but just cleared away for Washington. Here's Ellison now for Fort Madison. Goes early. Schottenkirk. Schottenkirk turning, step over, flicks it toward Reed. It's off his fingertips, and he'll dive on it. Reed again, he is certainly adding to that save tally. Had 13 in the 5-0 demolition for Fort Madison in the first matchup between these two teams. Here's Ross, a chance to use his feet here. Marcelino challenging there. Nice tackle by Kronlagi, but Fort Madison able to escape. Wiegand. Over for Tackett out wide, plays it forward to Hansen. Hansen can run onto this. Drives it across, and Reed wisely lets that one clatter into the side netting. It'll be a goal kick. As Xavi Resendez will make way for Washington. Anthony Canales, a freshman, will come in. Last home game for Washington, which we broadcasted here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. I was impressed by Canales, just a freshman, making his 8th appearance of the season. One for the future, potentially for the Demons. Hansen. Schreiber boots that one clear, but taken down by Schottenkirk. It'll be Tackett to throw. 90 seconds to play here in this first half, and we'll be back to the drawing board at halftime for Sally Hart and company. A barrage in the first half for Fort Madison, and they're looking for more if they can in the closing stages of this first half. Schadenkirk, early ball for Hansen. Can he take it down? He cannot. Able to be recovered quickly here for Marco Marcelino, his 4th appearance of the season. Wiegand. Schadenkirk tries to play Wiegand through. Back on it here. Kronlage jockeying with him. Good physicality there by Ben Kronlage. Brower will just boot that one clear, but again, hanging in that wind, which has died down a touch. That one I thought might have hit Green's hand, but we play on. Here's Hansen. Out wide, it's Jay Ellison. Chance to deliver one early. That one just lofted harmlessly, though, toward Reed. And that'll be the last action of this first half. Reed will chuck it forward, but it was all Bloodhounds in the first 40 minutes. 3 goals for Henry Graham, 1 for Jacob Schadenkirk, who assisted another. And it's Fort Madison with a 4-0 advantage in the first half. We'll kick to a quick break, come back with a halftime show. You're listening to Demon Soccer here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Breaking news.
Are you looking for a sports show with intensity?
And we'll see you in court, Mark Cuban, you broke bum.
Are you looking for a sports show with passion?
Moment of silence for the name Wells Fargo Arena.
And are you looking for a sports show with whatever this is?
And today we are counting down Justin Bieber's top 10 girlfriends. That's right.
Make sure to check out Andy and Hunter every Thursday on Prep Sports Plus, breaking down all the high school sports from across the Southeast Iowa region, talking about all your favorite schools such as Washington, Mount Pleasant, Fairfield, Waco, Winfield Mount Union, Pekin, and so much more. Make sure to check out Prep Sports Plus every Thursday at noon on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kyoto my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you. Kick it with Fairway all soccer season long with all the spring deals and variety you're looking for. Stay in the game with all the fresh deals and snacks to fuel your championship season. Make Fairway your home field advantage.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you with a flexible financing you need to install that all-season room or remodel your kitchen with a home equity line of credit. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
Hey, this is Matthew Roeder, owner of Roeder Epoxy. I'm excited for the opportunity to help you turn your ordinary floors into extraordinary floors. Garages, basements, patios, offices, I'm ready to go to work for you. Roeder Epoxy and online at roederepoxy.com.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
Hills Bank is a bank of people
who are willing to go the extra mile.
We find sincere ways to connect with those we serve.
Hills Bank is banking on human connections.
Here at The Morning Breath, we start every morning with style and grace.
Give me a
engaging you with thoughtful and critically thinking topics to start your day.
Did you know that Pop-Tarts are like horrible for you?
While always maintaining a professional and family-friendly environment.
John, you're no longer a virgin.
Oh, and all the other stuff.
Flowers. Yes.
We talk on all over the world.
There's another word for that, Peter. What do we call that?
Cold.
It is cold. It's going to get
weekdays at 7:15, only on the Southeast Iowa Video Network Facebook and YouTube page.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Welcome back to Washington Wellness Field. We're presenting the Rotor Epoxy halftime show, where if I can put on my reporter cap or writer cap for just a second, if there's a headline to this first half, it would be Golden Graham, because that is exactly what Henry Graham was, with a hat trick in the first 45 minutes. Jack Knowlton alongside my gracious producer, Peter Camp, and that was the story of the first half. Was just an absolutely lethal Fort Madison Bloodhounds attack, and Graham was right at the front of it. The spear for the Bloodhounds. 3 goals in the first 40 minutes. He's now 1 goal off of his teammate, Connor Horn, who was strong in attack, didn't get a goal himself, but was set up for one of those. Graham was by Jacob Schottenkirk, who got the 4th, and the 4th goal of the first 40 minutes, and it was a 5-0 result on the road for Washington, and it has the potential to get even more ugly here at home. It is the Demons' senior day, and we'll have to salvage something in the second half if you're Coach Sally Hart, and just kind of reevaluating the first half for the Demons. You know, with Schottenkirk in particular, he is the SEC's leading assist man. He got his 16th, as I mentioned, for that goal to Graham, but Washington have to do a better job defending him in those kind of half spaces. He's been able to sort of drop back from that advanced midfield role and collect the ball. He's had far too much time to turn and just pick out teammates. That was how he set up Graham for his 3rd goal, and otherwise, it's just kind of been Henry Graham and his sort of brilliance, the senior for this team. He's scored at least 9 goals a season for Fort Madison throughout his career, so he has been doing this to teams. It hasn't really mattered what others have thrown at him. He has just been able to step up to the challenge, and he's been at the task here. But Washington, a chance to potentially salvage something, had some speculative efforts at goal, but have to do a little bit better job building in that final third. Credit to Fort Madison. They look a little bit nervous in possession at times in their defensive third, but have done a good job getting back, getting their shape, and really preventing anything going through into that final third for Washington. No clear through balls really for Kevin Marcelino for the leading scorer, Edwin Cortez for Washington on the season. Keelan Ross has not been challenged in the net yet for the Bloodhounds, but a chance to regroup potentially for Sally Hart's side. We'll kick it to one more quick break, and we'll come back for the second half here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. This has been the Rotary Epoxy Halftime Show. Welcome back to Washington Wellness Field. We are just about to get set for the second half between the Washington Demons and the Fort Madison Bloodhounds here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network, presented by Washington County Hospital and Clinics, a top 20 critical access hospital in the nation. We are underway here with Washington needing any semblance of attack. It might at this point already be consolation prizes for the Demons if they can get a few goals. It was a 4-0 barrage by the Bloodhounds in the opening 40 minutes. Fort Madison showing off why they entered this game ranked second in the SEC in scoring, and two individuals top 5 in scoring on this Fort Madison team, one of whom has been the standout here, Henry Graham, a hat trick in the opening 40 minutes for him. But Washington had a good first 5 minutes of this game, put some pressure, generated a couple of early shots. Kevin Marcelino and Edwin Cortez looked the most dangerous to score for the Demons. Cortez, of course, 7 goals on the year, leads them in scoring. He's 9th in the SEC in points coming in with 15. He also has an assist on the year. And he will have to get involved if Washington wants to still try and salvage anything from this game, even if it is just a few goals. But Fort Madison trying to continue spoiling the senior day party for the Demons, and that's a miscued by Taylor. It's a chance for Fort Madison. It's cleared away, and danger averted in the end. Good recovery there by Taylor after it initially took a bad bounce for him off of his thigh there. Graham was nearly in for a 4th. But Brendan Taylor, one of the seniors for this Washington team, very talented player, was an All-SEC member last year. Washington missing a couple of players dearly this season from last year's side. They do have a throw in advanced position here, a chance to get a couple of numbers forward. Joseph Schreiber to try and take it. Cortez near him. Schreiber lofts that one into the box. It's over the head. Chance for Marcelino. Still with it here. It's Kevin Marcelino, and he pokes it left of the post. Fort Madison did not deal with that. It was Noah Swigart back there. Senior defender for this Fort Madison team, but couldn't collect that one. It was nearly a chance for Marcelino as Schreiber with some nice physicality to win that back for his team. Swigart does get on this one. Taken down and just lumped forward, and Graham's trying to run onto this. Could be a chance up the other end for the Bloodhounds. It's Graham, cuts back left, cuts right, plays it across the box, and over there is Ivan Rangel. Danger not all the way cleared though. Schottenkirk lays it in the path. A shot comes in and floated over the goal. It was not the strike that Hunter Wiegand was looking for that time. For Madison back on it here. Schottenkirk makes a move past one, tries to roll it in the path of Graham here. Or excuse me, Connor Horn, who slides it in for Graham, still bouncing around near Caden Reed, who just dives on it. Connor Horn, really nice ball across the center of that penalty area, right near the 6-yard box. Super dangerous territory for Washington, but Graham, excuse me, not able to get his foot on that time. So here's Kevin Marcelino up the other end. Marcelino dancing near midfield, looking for options. Tries to drop it for Cortez, who tried to stretch for that, but out for a throw. Marcelino chips that one, and Swigart went over the back. That might be the best way to describe that, as a little basketball analogy there. Went over the back of, I believe that's Anthony Canales out wide there. So it'll be a free kick for the Demons. Chance to loft one into the box. Marcelino, it's a good free kick, or well hit at least, but in the end, no trouble. Out for a goal kick for Ross. One back, and again, these opening few minutes in the second half have been all Washington. That one's over the top for Marcelino. What can Kevin Marcelino do here? He tries to play for Kronlage, who swing and a miss there. He's still back on a Kronlage shot. Hooks left. Nice recovery there by Ben Kronlage to get back on it, but again, super difficult to turn your body and your momentum to get that one both on target and hit with enough power and accuracy to beat the keeper, and it was just wide there. But again, promising for Washington in these opening few minutes. Still a lot of fighting in this Demons team, as that's a free kick. Jonas Santiago fouled there. Alecos Flores crashed into him. As Taylor jockeying with Schottenkirk there. It'll be free kick back to Washington. They take it quickly. Headed down, but can be collected by Flores. Flores around one. Slid in, though, by Schottenkirk, and this could be a counter opportunity here. Graham trying to run with Fletcher Brower. Graham gets it. Graham hits it. Blocked by Brower. Danger not cleared, though. Connor Horn can recover. Connor Horn takes it around one well. Connor Horn across the box. Flicked down and off the post. And in the end, out for a corner. Graham had to recover. Somehow got a foot to it, but just couldn't steer it in. But a corner still for the visiting Bloodhounds, who just look lethal with any counter-attacking opportunities in this one. Schottenkirk skips around Schreiber. Schottenkirk into the box. Cleared away by Flores. Brought down Marcelino, bringing some pressure, but out wide here for Jay Allison. But unable to be reeled in there, and it'll be a throw for Washington. Kronlage, nice touch there for Marcelino. That ball wafted nearest us. Peter Camp, our trusted producer, would have been ready for it, but stays in the field to play. Cortez intercepts that one. Back on it though, here's Schadenkirk, who tries to go between a couple of defenders, but you feel some better play. They've come out of halftime really well here, Washington. Look, if nothing else, motivated and have been first to some of these 50-50 balls, won a few fouls. Can they keep that going? Can they keep that going as well as preventing those counter-attacking chances that have looked dangerous for Fort Madison? Kronlage flicks that one off his head. Swigart deals with it by just hoofing it out wide. Be a throw for Washington here. Cortez tries to take it quickly. Does here for Canales. Canales hooks that one looking for Schreiber. Schreiber swings at it and wins it. Schreiber can cross this, and he hits it instead toward Ross. Mishit a bit there on the cross. Ross boots that one long. Schadenkirk. Nice touch there. Brower with Graham behind him. Doesn't deal with that one. Graham trying to take it around him. It's flicked off his hand, though. Ref didn't blow his whistle, however. It was an obvious handball. Graham straight up stopped running for it. Suppose you can consider it an advantage played for Washington. Raimundo tries to flick it in. It's one back, though. Ball played forward. Horn can run onto this one now. It's Horn jockeying with Brower. Brower gets first to it, and a really nice defensive effort there by Fletcher Brower. Just a sophomore, but is commanding in this Demons defense. Raimundo crucially gets to that one first. A lot of action here in the opening 10 minutes of this one, or this second half at least. Graham can turn. Graham tries to play it for the byline. Brower prevents a corner. Still in here. Back for Graham. Henry Graham again cut off, but Schadenkirk gets on it. Working again with Graham. Graham blocked by Brower. Another corner for Fort Madison. So another corner. I've lost track. They had 4 or 5 in the first half. A couple here already in the second. I've really liked the Washington communication overall, though. Has been some dangerous chances for Fort Madison. They've created that against every team they've played this year. But I've liked Washington's energy. If they can keep that up and generate it into some more offensive chances. They've looked good in the opening 10 minutes. They did in the first half, and then it was just an onslaught after that. Can it at the very least be a different story here in the second period? Washington can take something into their next game. This team has not scored in their last 2. Obviously want to see one go in, but have to do some defending here. It's Horn. Horn trying to tee one up for himself. Good defending again by Washington. Marcelino can turn here. He was in his own half, so onside. Kevin Marcelino holds it up. Marcelino plays that one forward too much, though. Schadenkirk takes that one down. Swigart tries to go long. It'll be a Washington throw. Ball bouncing in the midfield. Kronlage, challenging for it. Wins that one. Tries to play in Marcelino, who's onside. Kevin Marcelino cuts it back, rolls it for Cortez. Cortez around one, shot blocked. Schreiber on it, though. He's bumped off the ball. Appealing to the ref, nothing doing, though. But again, a nice attack there for Washington, promising for the Demons. Marcelino's done a really nice job on that left wing. He's gotten in behind. He's stretched the Fort Madison defense. And then on top of that, done a really good job to hold it up and let some reinforcements come up to help him, give him some support as they've tried to generate an attack here in the second half. Cortez. Caught off by Schadenkirk, though, who just bursts forward and finds Horn. Connor Horn tries to go around Taylor. who won't let him, but it'll be another corner for Fort Madison. We've seen Fort Madison take a lot of their corners short. Look like they're going to do so here with Schottenkirk over there. Instead, Horn will back up and chip it toward the penalty spot, headed away by Cortez. Out wide, Jay Ellison. Gets it into Graham. Graham, nice moves there. Graham hits one from distance. In the end, rolls out to the right of the post. Both teams making a sub here. Tate Green back in for Fort Madison. Neri Salazar back in for the Demons. Going to take up an advanced position. We'll give Cortez a break. So can Salazar continue the momentum that Cortez started along with Marcelino up front? Marcelino is also taking a seat right now as the cross comes in low toward Caden Reed. So Marcelino also out for Washington. It's Xavi Resendez up front now. Reed, long boot there, headed down. Salazar colliding and winning that challenge. Salazar has numbers forward, but couldn't find Xavi Resendez. In the end, danger averted. Schreiber back on it here for Washington, though. Kronlage able to turn. Kronlage looking for Xavi Resendez. Challenging for it is Resendez. Schottenkirk dropping back to get it. Will dink it forward. And one out here again for Fort Madison. They could have numbers here. It's played forward for Connor Horn. Connor Horn driving, cutting toward the byline, crossing, and in the end collected by Caden Reed. Connor Horn, it was a tough angle for him. Kind of looked like he wasn't sure if he was going to shoot that or take it all the way to the byline and try to cross it. Seemed to elect for the latter, but not able to drive that one. Instead, it's a Washington throw. Kronlage takes it as a foul throw, though. Graham, touchdown, taken off of it right away, though, by Alekos Flores. Or Alekos Flores, excuse me. Horn. Touchdown well. Getting it back here is Hunter Wiegand. Lofts that one toward the penalty spot. And the header comes in for Graham. Can be recycled here. It's Jay Ellison who's been busy both in possession and defending for this Fort Madison side through the first 15 minutes here. 2 subs about to come in for Washington. Taylor can get that one clear, but it comes back for Ellison. Green. Schreiber winning it back for Washington. Tries to play off Raimundo. One back, though, by Jonas Santiago. Santiago rolls it in the path of Graham, but one back, and Washington doing a really good job of just swarming numbers around Graham when he tries to turn at the top of the box and get a shot off so far. Hat trick in the first half for the senior forward, playing his final games of his prep career for Fort Madison, and it's been a good one. I've mentioned a couple times he's had at least 9 goals a season in all 3 of his previous years. Was on 9 coming into this game, obviously surpassed that tally. Eventful second half here. It is still a 4-goal cushion for Fort Madison, but you wouldn't think it the way Washington's been playing so far in this second half. It's taken a lot of pride still. Obviously, have just one more home game after this, trying to at least get some positives from the second half. Xavi Resendez tries to turn, finds Salazar. Salazar can play that one forward. Couldn't get the right touch on it, though, but it trickles all the way through here for Anthony Canales. Tries to hold it up. Kronlage mishits that one. But can get back on it here. Ben Kronlage Still can't be controlled there by Washington. Graham, Schadenkirk tries to roll it in the path of Graham. It was a difficult through ball that time, and Taylor cut that one off. Everyone offside there for Washington. Couldn't get back onside right away for that Taylor long ball. Green. Ellison tries to boot that one long. Brower wins it back. Salazar tries to touch it down, collides with Ellison. Schadenkirk switches on here. Horn brings that one down nicely. Taylor able to win it back for Washington. Taylor launches that one upfield. Keeland Ross. First to it, the goalkeeper. 47 saves on the season for the freshman in net for Fort Madison. Wiggin able to win that one. Horn offside. Free kicking for Washington here as we tick toward the halfway point of this second half. 4-0 advantage for Fort Madison, but Washington has been much, much better in this second half on both ends of the pitch. Salazar jockeying for that one, forces a clearance there. Cleared out in a chance for a trio of substitutes to come back in, including Edwin Cortez, who returns in that midfield. Christopher Perez, the freshman, in for Washington as well, going to take up a position on that right-hand side. Excuse me, a little bit more central for Washington, dropping in midfield. It looks like they're keeping Salazar as that kind of highest striker up front. Salazar trying to settle it here. Turns his man. Tries to play it in toward Perez. Cut off by Green, who just tries to go forward quickly. And sliding for it there is Flores, who takes down Schadenkirk, who just stays down for a minute here. Unfortunate challenge there. Flores obviously not meaning to collide with Schadenkirk that time, just kind of rolled over the ball and into his man. Schadenkirk trying to just walk that one off. Was a foul, of course, but didn't by any means look intentional there for Flores. That one's flicked forward, though, and Horn can run onto this. Connor Horn with pace. Horn toward the byline, tries to chop it back. Takes it back toward the byline and drives it toward Reed. In the end, a chance not too troubling for the Washington goalkeeper, as that one's sawed toward the right-hand side. Throw in another substitute here for Fort Madison. Jay Ellison making way. Oliver Tackett back in. Will take up a position on the left side of defense for the Bloodhounds. Raimundo first to that throw. Cortez. Tackett. Has to loop that long ball, but Flores will take the throw for Washington. Salazar can't quite get first to that. Rangel does, though. Skips past a couple defenders. Ivan Rangel, but no one on the end of that attempted pass. That ball went out of play. It'll be a Washington throw. Schreiber. Can Washington find their first goal in 2 games? Ticking towards 17 minutes to play here. At this point of the game, it likely won't be all four back for Washington, but I think if you're Coach Sally Hart, you have to be really happy with the way this team has played in the second half. Could have easily let their heads drop and just let that 4-goal deficit kind of compound and turn into a real blowout, or a bigger blowout at least here for Fort Madison, but Washington's fought really well. Chance to maybe win the second half, which for a team looking to just build any sort of momentum in their final 2 regular season games, you'll take. Still time for Fort Madison to get a goal, of course. Connor Horn has been busy, kind of playing off the right. I will say the Demons, it's been clear they put the focus on Graham and just trying to take him off the ball, surround him with players to not let him turn as easily, and get off some of the looks he was able to get off for his first goal in particular, where he's able to just kind of turn and fire one toward goal. A striker like Graham is really dangerous with that kind of time to adjust his body, and Washington trying to keep his back toward Caden Reed's net as much as possible in this second half. A couple more subs. Wigand and Tate Green making way. Schadenkirk, who has still been able to drop in and collect the ball, but he's been a lot deeper than he was in the first half. There's a chance for Washington to break forward. Marcelino tries to hook that one toward Schreiber. Back on it here, still in a chance for Canales, and it's collected. Excuse me, that was Perez up front initially for Washington. A really nice play there by Kevin Marcelino, who's just done a really good job of getting the ball back onto his preferred left foot and trying to provide some service into the box. Marcelino, one of the 3 seniors here celebrating senior day. 2 goals for him on the year. Wouldn't he like to add a 3rd before the day is done? But here's Graham with a shot. No trouble for Reed. Reed boots that one long. Headed out, sub for Washington. Perez making way. Jonathan Benulos making his first appearance of the game. That ball taken down. Horn has space down this right-hand side to charge into. Horn cuts it back. Schadenkirk tried to roll it back to him. Would have been a very cheeky effort if he had. But again, danger averted by Washington. Benulos challenging for that one. Marcelino, Raimundo looking for an option. Still Eric Raimundo. In the end, out for a Washington throw, or a Fort Madison throw, excuse me. Henry Graham making way. Hasn't been able to add to his hat trick in the second half, and replaced here Tanner Williams, the sophomore. 1 goal in the season for him. That one headed down. Here is Williams, his first chance to get involved in the game here. Schadenkirk. Out wide. Tackett plays it in for Caden Hansen. Drives it toward the middle. Schadenkirk, nice touch through. Schadenkirk can get a shot off, but in the end off his left foot. Not his preferred one, and Flicked harmlessly for Reed. Raimundo jockeying forward, a crunching challenge there by Noah Swigart. And Raimundo wins the free kick for Washington. Swigart with a high five to him there. Nothing more than a physical challenge there between two good players. Cortez, nice ball forward here. Chance to run onto this. Chance for Washington, and intercepted in the end by Ross. Was able to be cut off. Marco Marcelino. Wouldn't that have been special for him? Potential first goal opportunity, but in the end, just unable to get to that second touch. Took his first one a bit too hard there. Xavi Resendez back in, as is Kronlagi. Raimundo and Anthony Canales making way for Washington. Schadenkirk, nice volley there to try and find Horn. It was a bit too far, but Schadenkirk, you can tell how technically sound he is with the ball at his feet. Really good at just dropping deep, able to turn. He's played a little bit of a deeper position than he did in the first half, which is natural for Madison, just trying to protect their full goal cushion at this point. But Cortez driving forward here. Cortez at the byline. Harmless in the end, though, for Ross. A charging run for Edwin Cortez. He's got good speed. He holds off defenders really well, too, especially for a player of his stature. He's not the tallest player, but he plays very physical as Schadenkirk wins a free kick. But Cortez, like I said, plays with good physicality. He just has a real sturdy frame along with the speed. Obviously the great skill as well for him. So we tick toward 10 minutes left, and that one's in for Schadenkirk. Schadenkirk could have a chance to add a fifth here. It's Jacob Schadenkirk, and he dispatches that one, his second of the game, and it is a fifth for Madison. And the Bloodhounds do in the end break through in this second half. It was sound defending for Washington. You have to commend them. But in the end, a quick free kick and maybe a miscommunication there in that back line. Schadenkirk was able to run on that no problem and rolled it past Reed. No chance in the end for the Washington goalkeeper, and it's a fifth for Fort Madison. Ball lofted forward here. Chance for Marcelino to run on this. Holding it up, looking for an option. Finds Cortez. Cortez can't quite get past the first defender. Trying to recycle here. Back out wide for Marcelino. Hits one, and it's over the goal in the end. Would have been quite the goal for Kevin Marcelino. A couple more subs. Angel Paz into this game. His second appearance of the season. Paz played against Waco 2 or 3 games ago for Washington, making his debut. Chance for some minutes here as we're under 10 to play for Madison, with some of their backups in as well. Taylor on this one. Paz is offside. Taylor just had to hold it up there. Raimundo coming back in. He'll replace Kronlagi. Tate Green will call Schadenkirk off, probably for the last time in this one. Really nice game for Jacob Schadenkirk. 2 goals, 1 assist. Has just been all over the place offensively, using his skill in the midfield. That'll be a throw for Washington. Touchdown there well for Marcelino. Back on it here. Marcelino. Raimundo tried to find Cortez. Horn plays that, cut off though by Canales. Cortez on it again for Washington. Taylor. Paz, no teammate there for him that time. Brower. Marcelino, nice 1-2. Cortez trying to run onto this, as is Paz. Raimundo can collect. Plays it forward for Canales. That one intercepted though, and Hansen has a little bit of space here. Plays in Horn. Can Horn run onto this? He's got Taylor alongside him. Connor Horn holding it up. Finds Hansen. It's flicked clear by Brower. As trying to find it. Won well by Xavi Resendez. Can he burst down this right wing? Resendez still trying to get around his defender, but it's held up really well. In the end, out for a throw. Cade Blinden defending there for Fort Madison. Resendez cuts that intended pass for Hansen off. Kronlage challenged well by Tackett. Wigan back in for Fort Madison as Kronlage has to throw with 6 minutes remaining. Kronlage, long throw into the box. Flicked away. Marcelino can get first to it, but he's taken off it well by Wigan. Marcelino dancing with it on the left side. Still with it here. Really nice ball from Marcelino. He's trying to find Resendez. Ross smartly comes out to collect that. Great skill there by Kevin Marcelino, the senior, out on that left-hand side to dance around a couple defenders and find a cross. Brower, who's been busy but done a really nice job in this second half in defense for the Demons. Ball played long. Horn's trying to run on this. Stride for stride with Taylor. Still Horn. Horn wins it off of Taylor, crosses it, but it too high in the end that time for Williams. Ball hooked clear. Santiago. Here's Ellison. Wigand. Chance to deliver across. Lofted toward Horn. He can't get his head to it. Hansen recovers. Horn brings that down nicely. Salazar tries to take it off, and it's a handball in the end by Swigart, and a chance to get forward. Maybe a last chance to get forward with just a few minutes remaining. Nice ball by Kronlage. Swigart gets a crucial head to it. Hansen skips past Schreiber. That ball not able to be collected by Horn. Kronlage just trying to play a through ball and finds Marcelino, who is in an offside position. Free kick taken. Marcelino trying to challenge Swigart, who's defended well, credit to him, in that Fort Madison back line. Intercepted by Taylor. Ball played long. Kronlage can potentially run onto this. Ross is out for it, though. Just kind of dinks it off of his shin. Danger not averted yet. Xavi Resendez trying to spin his defender. He does there. Still Resendez. Nice play here. Tries to find Kronlage. Bounces for Raimundo, who's can't find a shot in the end and just kind of plays that back for Ross. Schreiber. Danger dealt with by Swigart. Ball played forward in the midfield near here for Fort Madison. Ticking down toward 2.5 to play. Brower clears that one long. Scramble for it near the halfway line. It's won back by Jonas Santiago. Tries to burst forward but can't find Horn. Brower will carry it toward the right-hand side for Washington and then boot it clear. Back in the center of midfield for... Back in the center of midfield. Chance here for Cortez. Ross out for it. Cortez takes it around him. It deflects off Cortez. It's rolling it in. And there is a consolation goal. Cortez is down. That might have been a goal off the face of Edwin Cortez. He's still down here and just being attended to by his teammates who have some chuckles. Ross tried to get out to it. It smacked off the face of Cortez and ended up in the back of the net. But Cortez will take it any way he can like it. Big cheers from the Washington faithful here as Edwin Cortez gets his 8th of the year in the most painful way imaginable. Getting consoled by his teammates and the staff. It's one back for Washington. Won't matter for the final result, but Edwin Cortez, the effort by the junior is rightfully rewarded that time. He's going to get a chance to come out of the game, earn a well-deserved break. Well, if you're going to end up with a ball hitting off your face, it might as well end up in the back of the net. And one back for Washington. Ticking toward 90 seconds to play, and they're right back on it here, the Demons. Really impressive second half from them to get a goal back. Obviously, playing with most of their reserves for Madison, but the fight here for Coach Sally Hart's side is well rewarded. And the most likely man to reward him for it. Nice 1-2 there between Kronlagi and Xavi Resendez. Good tackle, though, by Oliver Tackett. Xavi Resendez still with it, though. Raimundo. Mishit pass there. Able to get back on it, though, looking for Christopher Perez. It's played toward the right-hand side. Can they collect a second here, maybe, Washington? Minute to go. Perez. Xavi Resendez. That might be the last attack here. Or no, Washington getting a throw here instead, deemed by the assistant referee with 43 to go. So a really much better second half for the Demons. Able to get a consolation goal. They tied the second half overall 1-1 here. Nice challenge by Fletcher Brower to win it back, and he's charging forward here. Fletcher Brower tries to play Perez, and it's off his heel. That was a good idea there by Brower. Joseph Schreiber's lost a shoe near midfield. All sorts of things kicking off here with 15 seconds to play. Ball played forward. Maybe a buzzer beater chance here for Kevin Marcelino, the senior. Marcelino toward the byline. Marcelino still with it. It's blocked still with Kronlagi. Zeros are going to hit the clock as Kronlagi pokes one forward. An eventful final minute here. And some cheers here from the Washington faithful. It was a 5-1 win in the end for Fort Madison. Credit to Washington for their play in the second half, but the Bloodhounds' first half onslaught just too much in the end. Final from Washington Wellness Field here, 5-1. Fort Madison getting the win over Washington. We'll be right back in just a minute with the post-game show.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Breaking news.
Are you looking for a sports show with intensity?
And we'll see you in court, Mark Cuban, you broke bum.
Are you looking for a sports show with passion?
Moment of silence for the name Wells Fargo Arena.
And are you looking for a sports show with whatever this is.
And today we are counting down Justin Bieber's top 10 girlfriends. That's right.
Make sure to check out Andy and Hunter every Thursday on Prep Sports Plus, breaking down all the high school sports from across the Southeast Iowa region, talking about all your favorite schools such as Washington, Mount Pleasant, Fairfield, Waco, Winfield Mount Union, Pekin, and so much more. Make sure to check out Prep Sports Plus every Thursday at noon on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kyoto my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you. Kick it with Fairway all soccer season long with all the spring deals and variety you're looking for. Stay in the game with all the fresh deals and snacks to fuel your championship season. Make Fairway your home field advantage.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you with a flexible financing you need to install that all-season room or remodel your kitchen with a home equity line of credit. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
Hey, this is Matthew Roeder, owner of Roeder Epoxy. I'm excited for the opportunity to help you turn your ordinary floors into extraordinary floors. Garages, basements, patios, offices, I'm ready to go to work for you. Roeder Epoxy and online at roederepoxy.com.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Welcome back to Washington Wellness Field, where we bring you the post-game show here presented by the Mitch King Farm Bureau Financial Services, where it is the Fort Madison Bloodhounds achieving a 5-1 win over the Washington Demons. But if the scoreboard wasn't on our broadcast, you might have thought it was a 1-1 game. Washington fought really well in the second half. They managed to draw the second half 1-1, courtesy of a face goal from Edwin Cortez. Some real grit from him to get his tally up to 8 on the season. And I think that is one of the stories of the game, is how well Washington fought. They held off some advances, looked really good in the first 10 minutes, looked like they were going to create a goal for themselves early. In the end, anything they were going to get was consolation for after a first half barrage. Henry Graham didn't play the first game between these two teams, which was a 5-0 win for the Bloodhounds. Played today and made his presence felt with a hat trick. Jacob Schottenkirk got the other two and was the best player on the pitch for me, dropping deep in that midfield role, really facilitating things well, has really good footwork, assisted one of Graham's goals as well, and I thought played brilliantly to really be the separator between these two teams. But credit to Washington, they came out in the second half fighting despite a 4-goal deficit, could have easily rolled over, and you can see games like these turn into 6, 7, or 8 goals for a team like Fort Madison, who came into this game ranked second in scoring. But I really admire the way Washington fought. That spirit was rewarded in the most gritty way possible, like I said, with Cortez getting his 8th of the year. I thought Kevin Marcelino had some really nice moments on that left wing, of course playing on his senior day. Caden Reed in his classic style, chasing down that saves record for Washington, which stands at 199. Caden Reed, we'll have to check his tallies after the game, but should be near 150 or 160 at this point for Washington. So a nice game for him on senior day as well. Brendan Taylor, the other senior, played really well in defense, trying to hold off Graham. Connor Horn was all over the place for Fort Madison and had to be dealt with by Taylor on a couple of occasions. So really like the fight of Washington, and they get the goal back. Their first goal in 2 games for the Demons. Can they build off that momentum for their final home game? That's your game summary here on the Mitch King Farm Bureau Services post-game show. We'll be back tomorrow for another game between the Demons and Fort Madison. On the girls' side, a reschedule has the Washington Demon girls team playing against the Fort Madison Bloodhounds. Exciting broadcast for that. You can watch that here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. But for now, we'll sign off. Again, your final between Fort Madison and Washington finishes 5-1 in favor of the Bloodhounds. My name is Jack Knowlton for Peter Camp, our producer. This is Washington Demons Soccer on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.